Good morning, this is Gavriel Jacknin, and welcome to Halacha Day number 1140. A Halacha Day keeps the Yetzer Hara away, and we're starting a new chapter entitled Laws Concerning the Order of Precedence Relating to Blessings. Fascinating chapter, fascinating first halacha. Stay with me, here we go. If there are several kinds of fruit before you, and you wish to eat from all of them, observe the following guidelines. If they're all subject to the same blessing, you say the blessing over the kind you like best and find most appealing. So if you have apples, oranges, and peaches, and you love the apple the most, so then take a bite of that apple first and have in mind the blessing the other two, the peaches and the oranges. But here we go. If you like all of them equally, and there is among them one of the 7 species for which the land of Israel is praised, see chapter 51:7 above, then say the blessing over that one, even if it should be only half a fruit, while the others are whole ones. We'll see that a whole fruit takes precedence usually over a half fruit, but not in the case of if the half fruit is one of the 7 species. What are those 7 species again? Wheat, barley, which are not going to be really relevant for fruit, but then olives, dates, grapes, figs, pomegranates. Remember this. Oliver's date got first prize. That's a mnemonic. Olives, dates, grapes, figs, pomegranates, and that's the order as well. So, says the footnote here, if there are 2 fruits, both belonging to the same kind of the 7 species, the one that is whole takes precedence. So if you have 2 olives, one's whole, one's half, make the blessing over the whole one. If both belong to 2 different kinds of the 7 species, for example, half a fig and a whole pomegranate. Now remember, the fig comes first in that order in the verse. The fig takes precedence, although it is cut because it is mentioned before the pomegranate in the biblical verse, as you mentioned. Okay, so hopefully you get that. Generally, whole takes precedence, but not if it's one of the 7 species. There, in that case, even if it's half, you make the blessing over that one first, if it comes before the other ones in the verse. Okay, review. But if among them there are none of the 7 species and only one of them is whole, the whole one takes precedence, and you should say the blessing over it. So back to the example of the apples, oranges, and peaches. The same rule applies to fruits whose blessings are not similar. For example, if one's blessing is Borei Priya Eitz, like over a fruit, while the other requires the blessing Borei Priya Dama over a vegetable, carrot, since you must say both blessings, if you prefer one kind, you first recite the blessing over the favorite fruit. If you like them equally, you should first say the blessing over the one of the 7 species, even if it is not whole, as we mentioned before. If there are none of the 7 species among them, the whole one takes precedence. But if both are whole or both are cut, the blessing Borei Priya Eitz that takes precedence over the blessing Borei Priya Dama. We already said, I think earlier, that fruit from the tree is more specific. It's more specific of a blessing than fruit from the ground, and therefore in the pecking order, fruit of the tree blessing takes precedence over fruit or vegetables of the ground. Thanks for listening. A little complicated. Review it. And if you have any questions, you can always text me to Sponsor Feature Halacha 36100 for the gold. See you tomorrow.